to fish with a wire leader or to not fish with a wire leader? That is the question. Hey everybody, it's Dave Knetter here from Knetter's Practical Outdoors. And although the subject matter isn't quite as important as what Hamlet was anticipating, to pike fishermen it's still a pretty big deal. You guys know the debate. Should you use wire? Should you use fluorocarbon? Wire you're probably never going to get bit off, but wire can be a little clunky. Finicky fish might shy away from it a little bit. Fluorocarbon, very stealthy. You'll probably get more hits. But even with higher pound test fluorocarbon, you can get bit off once in a while. Well, when it comes to ice fishing with dead bait, I've been making and using a rig that's really worked good for me, and it kind of incorporates the best of both worlds. And I'll get to that in a minute, but first I'd like to show you some of the commercially sold quick strike rigs and maybe show you some of the limitations that they have. So first off, here's a quick strike rig. It's got this treble hook up here, slides up and down, and you take your dead bait and you want to try to get these hooks spread out a little bit, right? And so you put one in the head, you put one in the tail, you drop it below your tip up, and you have this. This is really less than ideal. You don't want to be this guy. Most people will agree you'd much rather have this horizontal presentation. Make the thing look like something a pike commonly eats. So then what some guys will do is they'll take that first hook and hook it more in the middle, and now you've got a good presentation, but you've given up some of your quick strike capabilities. Pike comes along, grabs it right here, you go to hook them, you're not catching that fish. So, you know, there's some limitations to this style. Another style is this yoke style quick strike rig, and this is a very gaudy one, but it'll work. And what guys do is you hook one in the head, you hook one in the tail, you drop that down below your tip up, and boom, you do have a pretty good horizontal presentation. But you do have the hooks out on the end, which is good. The problem is, oftentimes when you catch a fish with this style of quick strike rig, only one hook will get in the fish's mouth. And now this other hook is flopping around. As you're fighting the fish, oftentimes will get caught on the bottom edge of the hole and possibly cause you to lose the fish. So this isn't really the best deal either. I'd like to show you guys a quick strike rig that I've been making and using that kind of incorporates the best of both worlds. I call it the K-slide or Knetter slide, and what it is a fairly long fluorocarbon leader. I really like having the longer leaders, especially with the fluorocarbon, keeping that black Dacron or tip-up line a little bit away from the bait. Of course, this is your swivel. You'd attach this to your tip-up line. But on the business end of this, you've got two treble hooks attached with a thin wire leader. We've got an O-ring that the wire goes through. We've got our fluorocarbon attached to that O-ring, and we've got a small rubber band cinched around the wire and the O-ring. And I'll show you how we hook up the dead bait. Take your dead bait, put it through the rubber band to about the midpoint. Put a hook in the head and put a hook in the tail and set it down below your tip up. And you've got a nice horizontal presentation. You got a hook on each end. It's not going to sag because the rubber band is supporting the weight. And the other real good thing about this is when you go to hook a fish, oftentimes this O-ring is going to slide one way or the other depending on which way you're pulling and which hooks or hook is in the fish's mouth. But say for instance, you came over here, the fish is over here, you're pulling. A lot of times, that's what will happen. The rubber band will come off. This O-ring gets stopped on the second treble hook. This hook's in the fish's mouth. This one got spun around backwards, oftentimes will pull out. The O-ring stops here, and the only thing that fish can chomp on is this small piece of wire. Oftentimes they can't even get at the fluorocarbon. The other good thing about this setup is when you're fighting this fish, this second hook is facing backwards and it's not getting hooked up on the edge of the hole, and you're not losing any fish because of that. So it kind of incorporates the best of both worlds. Oftentimes you've got that small piece of wire to kind of save the day, but at the same time you've got the fluorocarbon giving you the stealth. Well, there you have it, guys. I showed you the K-slide rig. If you like to fish for pike, you like to use dead bait, it's a really good rig. Go out, buy the components, make some up, and give it a try. One thing to keep in mind though is you're going to want to carry extra rubber bands with you. You're going to go through rubber bands. Color, that's entirely up to you. White, clear, more of a natural presentation. Orange, yellow, red. That might be just that splash of color the pike are looking for that day. I personally keep my extra rubber bands on this spike horn. I shot this spike horn in late December, and when I was moving it around to gut it, the horn just popped right off. So it's kind of like a shed, but it's a nice little thing to remember a successful hunt by. So I like to keep it around. I know some of you guys out there maybe don't believe in guys shooting spike horns, but I'm here to tell you they're real and they're spectacular. So thanks for watching. This is Dave Knetter from Knetter's Practical Outdoors. God bless.